I got a soft spot for little kids, man. After being a dad, man, I look at puppies and kids and I just get all like mushy and inside and like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I took the meeting anyway. I said, let me just meet her. And
beautiful
when
girl.
I met her that day, I knew she was a star. Like, just her look, the way she walked into a room and her confidence, and she performed in my office.
And she was what, 17 years old at that point?
She was 16.
16.
Belts out of tune, she performs, and I tell her, there's no way out of this office. I signed her that day.
Did he call you or did he see you in person?
He seen some little ASAP back in the day. He seen like ASAP Bari in there. He called them to the side like, yo, come here, yo. Like, let me holla at y'all. Like, my first song is out. I don't even know. He know them. So he like, yo, your man's like, what's up with that line? Like,
there are two ways to leave here. Either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor. So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing. Yeah.
The audience is so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if Tyra was trying to get that on the record, but my God, what Jaguar? He threatened her. This is her own words coming out of her mouth. And she was a kid at that time, correct?
A 15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building.
So we just set up a meeting with Jay-Z. I met with him.
Were you nervous in the meeting?
What? Nervous is an understatement.
Yeah, sure.
I was a mess.
Can we just talk about how terrifying this is? Like, imagine being a 15-year-old girl flown to America without your parents or any supervision, and then being basically threatened by one of the most powerful men in music. The way Jaguar Wright describes this is giving me actual chills. A teenage girl alone in this massive Manhattan office building being told there are two ways to leave, either through the door with a signed contract or through a 29th floor window. I mean, who says that? And let me tell you, this isn't just some random gossip. This is Rihanna's own words coming straight from her mouth. The audience was literally squirming in their seats when this came out, and I don't think even Tyra was prepared for this bombshell. But hold on to your seats because it gets even juicier. A$AP Rocky, yes, Rihanna's man himself, is finally breaking his silence about these shocking allegations about Jay-Z, and let me tell you, he is not playing around like these other rappers who bow down to Jay. And speaking of shocking, Jay-Z might actually be under federal investigation for something disturbingly similar to what's happening with his friend Diddy right now. I'm literally shaking just thinking about it, because guess whose name keeps coming up? That's right, our girl Rihanna. So here's where it gets really interesting. Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay, just dropped some major bombshells about Jay-Z's relationship with young Riri. And trust me, it's way worse than those old affair rumors everyone used to whisper about. Hay straight up said this wasn't just about an affair, it was about Jay-Z allegedly trying to control Rihanna and use her as some kind of industry pawn. And get this, the FBI actually came to Hay asking questions about Jay-Z and his, let's say, pattern with younger women. I mean, can you even?
In New York. Subsequently, Rihanna, at age 16, was flown from Barbados to New York for a meeting with Jay-Z, which lasted from midnight until 3 a.m. During this meeting, Jay-Z allegedly pressured Rihanna into signing a recording contract, telling her, "There's only two ways out the door or through this window."
Okay, so let me set the scene for you. It's 2005, and a 16-year-old Rihanna flies all the way from Barbados to New York, completely alone, to audition for Jay-Z. He was apparently so impressed that he signed her right there. But here's where it gets super sketchy. This meeting started at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon and went on until literally the next day. And then comes that absolutely chilling joke about throwing her out of the 29th floor window if she didn't sign. Like, excuse me?
He said something about a window and a door. Oh, then he said, he did it homework. I did a lot of homework on you. He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor. So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
I mean, let's be real here. Even if Jay-Z was just joking about the window thing, which honestly, who jokes about that? It's still completely inappropriate. We're talking about a grown man saying this to a 16-year-old girl who could literally be his daughter. And remember, Rihanna was there all alone. No parents, no guardians, nobody to protect her. Jay-Z basically held her entire future in his hands, and he made made it crystal clear she had no choice but to do what he wanted. Of course, Rihanna signed that contract. What else could she do? And then Jay-Z and his team got to work on her first album, Music of the Sun. But that's when things started getting even messier. Suddenly, these rumors about Rihanna and Jay-Z having an affair were everywhere. Headlines, gossip blogs, you couldn't escape it. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay, later claimed he made up those affair rumors just to promote Pon de Replay. But honey, that wasn't the whole truth. And wait until you hear about Beyonce's reaction to all of this. So apparently Queen Bey wasn't just brushing these rumors off like we all thought. She actually believed them. And some insiders are saying she might have even tried to sabotage Rihanna's career. Can you believe it? The songwriting duo R City spilled some major tea about how they wrote Bow Down specifically for Rihanna, but somehow Beyonce mysteriously ended up with it instead. Like, how does that even happen? And Rihanna, oh, she wasn't staying quiet. She threw some serious shade at Beyonce on Twitter, writing, "I only know how to be #1. I could use a challenge. How'd that feel down there on your knees, huh?" The drama. But it gets even more intense. Someone close to the situation revealed that Beyonce was feeling so insecure that she actually got Jay-Z to leak Rihanna's Anti album before its official release. Apparently, she was worried Rihanna would steal her thunder from Formation. And now, just when you think this story couldn't possibly get any crazier, there are reports that federal agents are questioning people from Rihanna's team about Jay-Z's allegedly inappropriate relationship with her during her early Def Jam days. Like, this is getting serious. Remember Jonathan Hay? Well, he's back with even more tea, and it's scalding. There's this YouTube documentary called The Disturbing Death of Jay-Z's Mistress about the mysterious death of 28-year-old model Kathy Corey White in 2011. They're calling it a brain aneurysm, but honey, people are asking questions. After Hay's name appeared in that Trap Law Ross documentary about Kathy White, he took to Instagram dropping these mysterious hints that there was way more to the story, and when he finally opened up to all hip-hop, oh my goodness, he revealed how frustrated he was back then because he couldn't get Rihanna the MTV news coverage she deserved. Meanwhile, Jay-Z was totally focused on other artists like Tiara Mari and, get this, some random rapper named Lady Sovereign. And as if that wasn't bad enough, Jay-Z was publicly taking shots at Aaliyah, who had stepped away from music to focus on her children. Can you imagine? But here's where it gets absolutely chilling. Hay says federal agents came to him about Jay-Z and they weren't playing around. They brought up Jay's violent past, you know, the Lance Rivera stabbing and that infamous fight with R. Kelly during their tour. But that's not even the worst part. These agents were investigating allegations about Jay-Z's behavior with younger women, and they were especially interested in his relationship with Rihanna when she was underage. And the plot thickens. These allegations apparently crossed international borders. Even though Hay tried telling the feds he made up the affair rumors, they weren't buying it. He finally confessed that Jay-Z's team allegedly pressured him to take the blame, promising to promote his other clients on Tidal. But surprise, surprise, that promise never happened. And just when you thought we'd heard it all, Jaguar Wright comes back with even more bombshells. In this new interview on Popcorn Planet, she's dragging Rihanna's name deeper into this mess. When they asked her about that viral clip of Rihanna talking about Jay-Z's window threat, Jaguar dropped a bomb, claiming those old Jay-Z and Rihanna affair rumors.
Said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor. So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing. Yeah.
The audience is so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if Tyra was trying to get that on the record, but my God, what Jaguar? He threatened her. This is her own words coming out of her mouth. And she was a kid at that time, correct?
15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. And the 6 hours that she spent with him and the 4 hours that she spent alone with him with no parental supervision. Her father didn't show up till the next day to come and collect the check.
Well, and
this is her life.
The rumors were even beyond that, right? That Jay-Z was cheating on Beyonce with her when she was 17 is what a lot of this came out through a publicist who later then had to apologize.
Have you spoken to my friend Jonathan Hay? You should talk to Jonathan.
Please.
Because Jonathan was there. He was right there working with Rihanna. And it was right when they started crafting her to be seen as a brand and commodity only and not a person. And when I talk to Jonathan now, just to hear him when he thinks of his teenage daughters, he was like, Rihanna was the same age my girls are now. I couldn't imagine putting my daughters through what we put her through. And then the next thing you know, she was removed from that first team from Pond the Replay and replaced with all new handlers and kept sheltered in Los Angeles, where she was going out to parties and partying at 15, 16, 17 years old, hanging out at the Rainbow Room, hanging out. Yeah, like it was one of my friends who found out she was 17 when everyone thought she was 21. And he was like, yo, why do y'all got me carrying this girl around and she's it's cool.
Had to debunk that. Oh, we apologize. It wasn't real. We made it up in hopes of giving her single a boost.
Yeah, they
like,
promised
what?
Jonathan a deal working at Tidal and something, and then they reneged. And then the next thing you know, he was caught in a home invasion robbery while he was working on the Drake secret baby mama story.
Jeez.
Sophie. He was duct taped him and his daughter, and he was pow whipped in front of his child. So, you know, there's a lot that goes on in the backdrop.
They weren't just rumors. Can you believe what Jonathan went through? A home invasion while he was working on the Drake secret baby mama story about Sophie. They duct taped him and his daughter and beat him in front of his child. I mean, this is absolutely horrifying. And then Jaguar brought up something really interesting about Rihanna's 2023 Super Bowl performance. You know, when she threw up that Rockefeller sign? Jaguar thinks Rihanna might still be afraid of Jay-Z, which could explain why she's staying quiet about all these allegations.
Yes, D, you made a comment about this. Like, this was from the Super Bowl appearance more recently. This bothered you, seeing her put the Rockefeller's logo out there.
If you
what was
go
your
back
instinct to that?
and watch, it was almost as if she didn't want to put her hands up, and then she looked over where Jay-Z's box was, and then you just see her hand. She look at her. She's looking at his box. She didn't want to do it. She didn't even want to do that gig. But the hold, especially the financial hold with the companies and all of the money and all of the strings that he pulled to... He treats these women like shell corporations.
When you put all these pieces together, it paints such a disturbing picture of Jay-Z's past, especially with all these allegations about inappropriate relationships with younger women. And isn't it just wild that Jay-Z, who had such close friendships with R. Kelly and Diddy, is now trying to take the moral high ground? In response to that lawsuit filed by Tony Busby, you know, the one where Jane Doe claims she was just 13 when Jay-Z and Diddy allegedly assaulted her, Jay-Z put out this statement saying, "I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain." But let's be real here. Where was all this talk about honor and protecting children when he was working with R. Kelly after knowing what Kelly did to Aaliyah when she was just 13 or 14? And what about Foxy Brown? The hypocrisy is just astounding. Now, let's talk about how A$AP Rocky is handling all of this, because it's getting intense. Sources close to Rocky say he is absolutely furious about these allegations. He's apparently ready to go off on Jay-Z and expose everything, but here's the thing. There's only one person stopping him: Rihanna herself. According to insiders, Rihanna is desperately trying to keep the peace. Can you blame her? She's worried that all this drama will just bring more pain into her life, and my heart just breaks thinking about how concerned she is for her sons. Imagine them growing up and having to see all of this unfold in the media. It's just heartbreaking. I mean, can we just take a moment to process all of this? The threats, the manipulation, the federal investigations, the mysterious deaths, the cover-ups. It's like something straight out of a movie, except it's all allegedly real. And the fact that Rihanna was just a teenager when all this started, it just makes my skin crawl. The question now is, should A$AP Rocky speak up and expose everything he knows, or should he stay quiet to protect Rihanna and their family's peace? What do you think about all these shocking allegations against Jay-Z? Drop your thoughts down below, and don't forget to catch our next video, because trust me, this story is far from over.